Siksi haluankin kiittää kaikkia, jotka on tänään huipputapahtuman mahdollistanut, tapahtuman järjestäjiä ja yhteistyökumppaneita, Helsingin jäähallia ja lisäksi lämmin kiitos niille noin 500 vapaaehtoiselle, jotka mahdollistavat tämän hevosurheilun jokasyksyisen kohokohdan. Hyvät kuulijat, kära åhörare, dear friends, toivotan kaikille loistavaa iltaa ratsastuksen tähtihetkien parissa. Eiköhän me päästetä ratsukot iskemään kavion tänne Hiekkailainen altapuolesta. Tervetuloa Helsingin kaupungin puolesta. Welcome on behalf of Helsinki City.
Kiitoksia Paavo Arhimäki. Ja tiesittekö muuten, hyvä yleisö, että Helsinki International Horse Showlla on myös oma räppi.
a very good afternoon and a warm welcome to Finland. Helsinki for the Helsinki International Horse Show of 2024. Host to the second leg of the Western European League, the qualification series to the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup Finals. The Longines FEI Jumping World Cup of Helsinki held here over the weekend. But of course, to get that far, horses and riders must book their place in that World Cup qualifier as they look to gain points towards the Western European League for the 24-25 winter season. And this is the qualifying competition for that very World Cup qualifier later this week here in Helsinki. It really is, believe you me, the one that all of these riders want to win. It is the reason why year after year so many of the world's very best descend upon Finland here in Helsinki for the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup qualifier. The first leg held in Oslo just last week. It was a flying start to the series, and this week it could only get better with the field of riders that we have before us. So this is a world ranking competition. It's 1 meter 50. It's one round against the clock, 1 to 12, with a time allowed of 71 seconds. And to get us underway, one of several flying Frenchmen that we have with us here in Helsinki. This is Alex Rago and QH Solmio Santo Antonio. Course has been set by the world-renowned Guy Georges, alongside Johanna Mikkola and Thomas Kiravanta. Alex Rago making light work at the start of this competition. Really good start to the round. One round, of course, against the clock. 1 meter 50. When we get to that World Cup qualifier over the weekend, the fences, they'll be a little bit bigger. They'll be up at around 1 meter 60, 1 meter 65. But this, the first of the real questions that these riders expect. You could just see there, opted to go inside. Overshot the turn ever so slightly and paid the price at that vertical there as he jumps that oxer to conclude on a score of 4 there for Alex Rago in a time of 63.01. So comfortably inside the 71-second time allowed, but he wasn't hanging around, was he? Moving from start to finish, a couple of options inside as we saw there, that turn back to the final line. But it is a score of 4. Always difficult going first in a competition such as this one. There's 41 due to start, and we've got some of the world's very best with us here in Helsinki. The world number 7, Max Kuhne. World number 2, Steve Goddard. And how about this lady? She, for the past 2 years now, been a mainstay on Swedish Nations Cup teams. The winning team on home soil in Falsterbo earlier this year. Saw her at Hickstead, the Nations Cup team there last summertime as well. This is Sweden's Amanda Landerblad and for Killy. Combination that placed in that King George V Gold Cup at Hickstead last summertime of 2023, and this actually a horse that was produced in Great Britain, produced by Danny Dunn. Now very much in the capable hands of Amanda. Been jumping double clears on those Nations Cup teams, so would expect nothing less than a clear here. But it is a testing track. And those of you that were with us this morning watching the welcome competition here, the first 5-star competition, would have seen just how quickly these fences come off the corners. There is not a second to breathe. And of course, many of these horses, they've been jumping in those big open, those vast outdoor arenas throughout the summertime, and just now dropping indoor can take them ever so slightly by surprise, but not for Amanda Landerblad. And for Killy, it's a clear round there, 63.12. Really good round now because the pressure has been applied. Nicely done there for Amanda Landerblad. Should be enough to see her head through to the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup of Helsinki a little later this week here. in Finland. But we stay with Sweden, and here's another familiar face on Swedish teams, Jens Fredriksson and the 11-year-old Diarado's Rose Elith. Jens, a member of that team, played a pivotal role in the Swedish team winning the 2022 World Championships out in Herning, Denmark. Jens himself that year was third, the World Cup final as well. Just recently seen himself drop a little bit down the world rankings, currently just out of the world's top 400, but come this winter season, I'm sure he'll be clawing his way back up there. World ranking points up for grabs in this competition here. I think the majority of the lines that Jorge uses in his courses really encourage the horses and riders to move forward. Oh, a little bit of a stumble there. Recovered well though, didn't he? Maybe not quite as tight as he'd hoped, and you could see there maybe just unsettled the horse ever so slightly. Jumps that final fence well, and the time was good, wasn't it? Look at that, 61.16, but it's a score of 4. 4 there for Jens Fredriksson and Diarado's Rose Elith. We're going to be going very fast indeed a little later today as well. Of course, we've got that speed competition, the Adamsbro International Speed Class here in Helsinki. 38 very quick combinations coming forward. Just there, with Kevin Stout and his ride in the background, you can see how tight it is in this arena. The crowd very close to the action as well, and the seating, the tiers are very steep indeed, so very much right on top of the action here. Really building to the atmosphere that some horses love, other horses maybe don't handle quite as well, but this one is more than used to that sort of environment. It's Diallo Blue PS for France's Kevin Stout, world number 14. Third in the World Cup final in 2013. Just last week he was second in the Grand Prix of Oslo, having finished top 10 in the World Cup qualifier there as well. This man can handle the big occasion, as he did back in 2009 to win the individual gold at the European Championships held in Windsor. We've seen a few take an option inside there. Kevin just going a wider line, but he's still moving on at the moment. 63.12 to beat. He's going to get it, isn't he? And look at that, 60.01, over 3 seconds quicker, and that was without the turn back to that final line. So very quick, very fluent, and into the lead for France's Kevin Stout and Diallo Blue PS. So Kevin Stout now the man to catch, as the Frenchmen so often are in the international show jumping scene. 60.01 the new leading time, and now it is for the Netherlands, one of their young riders that really has made a huge impact on the Senior Nations Cup teams this year. Member of the team that was second at Hickstead back in July, Mel Tyson jumping double clear on that occasion, and then went on to represent the Netherlands team in Dublin in August. So it is Mel Tyson here with the 13-year-old in Doctroside gelding, Greg S. 4 gone, 2 clear so far. Nice ride through that double. Left-handed curve there. tight off the corner, isn't it? That the Longines vertical really comes quick. Horses, riders have to be so focused. May only be jumping for around 60 or so seconds, but it would be mentally exhausting. What a turn back that is. But pays the price. Yet to see someone pull off that inside turn to the penultimate fence. The last goes as well. So it is a score of 8, 57, 76 there. 8 the score for Mel Tyson and Greg S. But yeah, we're back to what we were saying a moment ago. It's only 60 seconds of jumping, but these horses and riders have to be so focused from start to finish. It is mentally exhausting for both horse and rider. Cannot afford a lapse in concentration at any point, because then the fences are going to start to fall, aren't they? 1 meter 50 world ranking points up for grabs. And here we go with our next. From the Netherlands, we head to Denmark. Andreas Go with the 10-year-old Billy Mexico side stallion, Billy Matador. One that was bred and produced originally by the Billy Stud team, Will Funnell, Donald Barnwell. Now really excelling at 5-star level with Andreas Sko, but there's an early fence down. So still at the moment, just the 2 clear. You can see again there to that Longines vertical. There's, what, 2 strides, maybe 3 off the corner. Getting that early fence down, so chance to win this Longines World Ranking competition. Slips away, he takes the wider line down to the penultimate fence to finish on the 4 there. Denmark's Andreas Sko and Billy Matador. Score of 4 in 67.55. So it is at the moment. Kevin Stout leading the way and Amanda Hlandebad in 2nd place. Surely more clears to come though. 6 gone so far, and here is Victoria Gulliksen. Victoria running for Norway with the 12-year-old gelding by Elvis de Put. This is Mistral van der Vogelzang. Victoria, of course, part of a huge show jumping family, the Gulliksen family. Brother Johann Sebastian Gulliksen really competing well on the international circuit now. And of course, father Jimmy, Geir Gulliksen, as we saw earlier, still competing at the very top level of the sport. He placed so well in that opening competition earlier today. He's going to feature as well in this world ranking competition qualifier for the World Cup qualifier later this week. But Victoria, she rode at the Olympic Games in Paris earlier this year, just last week on home soil. She was 4th in the Grand Prix of Oslo. I think Victoria now, she's seen a few go, maybe taking a little bit of a gamble here, but hoping for that clear, hoping that that's enough to secure a little bit of money, a handful of world ranking classes, and of course a place in the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup of Helsinki later this week. She is clear, rolled the dice, clear it is, 66.43 there, Victoria Gulliksen. But shows the sort of form that the Gulliksen family are in. Jimmy Gulliksen 2nd in the welcome class earlier today. And Victoria Gulliksen jumps the clear to go into 3rd at the moment. So it is France, Sweden and Norway. First, second and third at the moment, but it's Ireland's turn now. Ireland with a strong team of riders here in Helsinki this week. None more so, of course, than former world champion Dermot Lennon. But this is Deirdre Riley. Jumped really well, a solid clear in the welcome earlier today. Competed on the international stage, not only in the world of jumping, but eventing as well. So a multi-talented rider here, Deirdre Riley, on board the 14-year-old stallion, Kafka van der Heffink. Horse maybe having a little bit of a buck and a skip before the start there. Just stopping as well. Well within a right to do that. You can see this horse is full of energy, isn't he? Wonderful stallion. Deirdre jumping so well in the welcome earlier today, but this I would say is her strongest horse. But she's going to have her work cut out here this afternoon, just keeping all of that energy bridled together. You can see they're made up so much ground down that distance. Really is keen, taking hold of the bridle. But at the moment it's working for them. Keeps very tight to the wing on that turn back there. Defense number 9, and there's another tight turn back. I think keeping this stallion on his toes is really working for them both here. One to jump, and it's gone. You could see there the turn was quite brilliant, and the horse just got a little bit carried away and a little bit excited down that final line. Started to buck, started to skip, and then sadly just couldn't quite reach the back bar. On the final oxer to finish on a score of 4 there, Ireland's Deirdre Riley and Kafka van der Heffink 4 in 61.05. Still about a second off the pace that has been set by France's Kevin Stout. So starting more so now to appreciate just how quick he was. But to one of the young talents from Belgium, Nathan Budd here, riding a 10-year-old stallion owned by Hughes de Latre. It's the Toulon side, Tuardo Blue Z. Nathan has been riding since the tender age of 6. He's got a huge amount of experience in producing young horses through the ranks. Maybe doesn't quite dare as much as others off that corner to the Longines vertical. Nicely through that double though. And it's really nice to see someone that has produced young horses for so long, really getting an opportunity at the very top level of the sport here in Helsinki, and keeps up the gallop down to the last, and he's got it. Look at that. 59.08 and a clear, and that has gone quite comfortably into the lead there. 59.08, second quicker, Nathan Budd and Tuardo Blue Z. And that is what is always so fascinating with the World Cup circuit. We get to the start of the season, the winter season, and there are riders that have been banging on the door towards the end of the summertime, really then make that step up. They get the opportunity to shine on the biggest stage of them all, and they take that opportunity with both hands, and that's what we've seen there from Nathan Budd, and he now leads this world ranking competition. Prize pot of €40,000. We'll be looking at around €13,000 to the winner here this afternoon, so yeah, not to turn your nose up to. And here we go with Sweden once more. Angelica Augustsson Zanatelli. Kalinka van den Achtergael, 14-year-old mare. And by Angelica, this one's by Eplisa van Heyck, out of a mare by Cicero. It was Angelica that won the World Cup qualifier here in Helsinki 2 years ago. Back in May, she was 4th in the Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Shanghai. That vertical comes very quick because it's pretty much hidden by the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup of Helsinki Ox. Big chunky wings on that fence, so once they navigate their way around, that fence comes very quickly, but coming quickly down to the last is Angelica Augustsson Zanatelli, and she stops the clock at 57.03. And she loves it here in Helsinki. She really does. It brings out the best of her time and time again. From that World Cup win here 2 years ago, she's now leading in a brilliant time of 57.03. She's given those still to come a mountain to climb in this world ranking class. New leader, and that's Sweden. Belgium's Nathan Budd in second. Kevin Stout for France in third. But now it's Germany's Hans-Dieter Dreher and the 15-year-old gelding Westmaal de Coty. By the 3-time World Cup winner Balabé de Rouet. World Cup winner beneath the Brazilian legend Rodrigo Pessoa. But this man had some run during the Western European League last winter time. Saw him finish top 10 in Leipzig, and then top 5 in Mechelen and Basel as well. Really enjoyable to watch. Hans-Dieter Dreher sits so light in the saddle. Loves these big, powerful horses, but somehow has developed a way to still let them run and jump, even though they've got a huge stride. And look at this horse just eating up the ground there down to the last. Time to beat 57.03. It's close, but it's quick enough. 56.91. We are getting quicker and quicker here. That was quite brilliant, and that big gallop down to the last really made all the difference. Hans-Dieter Dreher now leading with the 15-year-old Westmaal de Coty. 56.91. Catch him if you can. There's going to be plenty that will try, I'm sure of that, here this afternoon. And one of them could be this man. Young rider, really made a name for himself 2 years ago when he won the Grand Prix in Dublin back in 2022. Eduard Schmitz and his own 9-year-old gelding by Arezzo, Abdul Jabbar Dujibé for Switzerland. Really hit the ground running the Western European League circuit last weekend in Oslo. Top 10 in the Grand Prix, finished second in the World Cup, but there's an early oxer down there. Another big rangy horse. Oh, well, the first time that we've seen that. Has he done enough to pick it back up? He has. Oh, he did well to recover there. He just pops that final fence, 60.63. Good time, even with that a little bit of a disagreement turning back to the final line. But a score of 8 there for Switzerland's Eduard Schmitz and Abdul Jabbar du Gibet. Well, Portugal next to go. It's the bell for this man, Rodrigo Gistera Almeida. This actually the horse that we saw him jump earlier today in the Welcome Stakes, Soledad. Jumped really well in that competition for a third place finish, but for a long, long time it looked as if they'd done enough to win it. Might be out to put the record straight here this afternoon and get a victory on the scoreboard. Rodrigo Gistera Almeida and the 12-year-old Soledad. This a man that has ridden a World and European Championships for Portugal. Set off like he means business, hasn't he? And of course, both the horse and the rider this time have had their eye in. Yeah, had to push off the corner, saw a stride, committed to it. So far, so good. Time to beat at the moment, 56.91. Has to keep on pushing now. And you'd have thought he needs to get this inside turn, which he does. But again, it's the yellow and black vertical that goes. And the final fence as well. Not the first time we've seen that. I'm sure it won't be the last. 8 it is, 58-31. Score of 8 there for Rodrigo Gistera Almeida and Soledad. So where are we? We've got Hans-Dieter Dreyer leading. Angelica Augustin Zanatelli second. Nathan Budd in third. Kevin Stout in fourth. Amanda Landerblad in fifth. And Victoria Gullikson in sixth. But Estonia next to join us. They've got one representative here in Helsinki this week, and it's Myrelander here with Expert. Another combination that competed in the Welcome Stakes earlier today. They jumped really well. They were clear. Held a top 6 placing for a very long time. Didn't quite finish there, but it was a superb round. Gets away with the rub at that Oxer. Those golden poles, they really do blend in with the surface here in Helsinki. Didn't get away with that one though at the first part of the double. So second round of the day for this horse, and it was very, very keen in the first. Looks actually like it's got a little bit more excitable as the day's gone on, so finishing on 4. For it is 63.39. Myrelander and Expert. You can see they're just heading up the horse walk from the warm-up arena. Our next combination. And that's Katharina Romberg for Austria with the 12-year-old gelding Kuma 5. Member of the Nations Cup team for the Austrians back in May. Partnered this horse to a 5th place finish in the Grand Prix of Oslo earlier this season as well. Has been a superb year for this combination, getting those opportunities on the Nations Cup teams. Seen plenty of riders this year getting those opportunities with the 3-star EEF Nations Cup Series. Riders really proving their worth at 3-star level and then gaining those opportunities to step up. Made that inside turn look very easy indeed, didn't she? Horse and rider working perfectly together. And gets a great shot to the final fence as well. 57.63. And it goes into third. Clear there. 57.63 for Katarina Romberg and Kuma 5. And that is a combination to watch out for with those competitions to come later this week. They are going from strength to strength. And I can only see them getting better with those competitions still to come. We are going to pause at the halfway stage for a little bit of arena maintenance just to ensure that the second half of the draw have perfect footing for competition, making sure it's an even playing field for everyone. But there's still 5 to go before we hit that stage. And this combination jumped quite brilliantly in the welcome stakes earlier today. This is Annelie Vosselman for Belgium with a 9-year-old mare, C. Culotti WZ. By Camilfo. What a horse that was for Marcus Enning. Marcus, of course, a World Cup final winner. Marcus won the World Cup qualifier in Madrid last winter time. This horse very much with the same technique, that exuberant jump as the father Camilfo. Just the outside line. To the penultimate fence now, heading on down to the last. Clearing the welcome stakes earlier today and now clear in this world ranking class. 63.80, superb round there for Annelie Vosselman and C. Culotti WZ. Big smile on her face, and why wouldn't there be? She's having a week to remember here in Helsinki. So still to come in the first half of the competition. Finland, Italy, Great Britain, and this man for Germany. Really turned heads in Oslo. Finishing 8th in the Grand Prix and 9th in the World Cup qualifier there. Just now broken into the world's top 100. This is Germany's Philipp Rupping and the 8-year-old gelding By For Pleasure for Delando PS. For Pleasure, another of Marcus Enning's wonderful rides. That possibly the best of all of them for Marcus. That his Olympic ride. Stallion that has gone on to produce so many top quality show jumping horses. This one with Chaco Blue Lines on the dam side as well. See there just how quickly the horse turned. So responsive, so sharp to react. But maybe a little bit too sharp through that double. Really towing Philipp Rupping along here this afternoon. So heading down to the last on 4. And that's where they stay. 4 faults in 61.95. Philipp Rupping there. And the 8-year-old gelding for Delando PS. And in terms of world ranking competition, an 8-year-old is a very young horse to be competing at this level. So for a horse to go around with as much confidence as it did, just that one little mistake, showing a little bit of immaturity there. But it is just the 4. Philip Ruping. But you can hear there out in the arena, the volume just turned up ever so slightly because we've got one of the home riders featuring here. This is Petra Heikkinen for Finland with Okike. 10-year-old mare by I'm Special to Muse. Petra, one of those riders that have really performed well on the 3-Star Nations Cup Series this season. Member of the team out in France in Deauville back in the summertime. Those team performances have really caught the eye. Oh, she did well there, didn't she? She could feel the hesitation as she came off the corner. Wasn't quite enough. Just turning down to this final line now. OGK and Finland's Petra Heikkinen. She was unlucky there because, I don't know if we'll get to see it again, but as the horse came round to that double, you could see there was, whether it was a bit of hesitation, whether the horse thought it was going towards a different fence, I'm not entirely sure, but Petra really had to react quickly, and she did. It wasn't quite enough to get up and over the back bar. That second part of the double, but score of 4 for Petra Heikkinen. So we touched on it at the start of the competition. Some of the world's very best with us here in Helsinki. And I am so surprised to see this man at World 246 because he has been a winner of some of the world's biggest Grand Prix. London, Monaco, Berlin. He was 4th at the European Championships in 2017. Italy's Alberto Zorzi and Cortez van Klein Astonk Z. 12-year-old Corner Tablensky side gelding. One that Alberto's had on the 5-star circuit for a couple of years now, so they're definitely not here for the experience. Maybe a little bit steady towards the start of the round. But just picking up the pace a little bit now, and he's in touch, isn't he? Time to beat 56.91. Maybe not quite quick enough to catch the leader, but 58.13 is a very good try, and that'll go into 4th place there for Italy's Alberto Zorzi. Yeah, 58.13 and clear. So Italy onto the leaderboard once more. There's some brilliant Italians riding here. The Grimaldi brothers, we'll see them a little later in the competition as well. But what about this combination? They produced the round of their life to win the King George V Gold Cup at Hickstead on home soil back in July. They were in flying form on home soil at the Horse of the Year show just a few weeks ago as well. So let's see what they can do here this afternoon. It is for Great Britain, world number 75 and climbing, Donald Whitaker and the 11-year-old mare Millfield Colette. Bred in Britain, produced in Britain by Laura Robinson. And now with Donald Whitaker. And they look like a very, very strong partnership already. It really was some round to win that King George V Gold Cup. Keep that wonderful trophy, not only in Great Britain, but with the Whittaker family. Robert, of course, the winner in 2023. Donald, the winner earlier this year. Just moved on down to that Oxer, and as a result of that, I think the door was slammed shut on the turn inside to fence number 11, but not a bad round at all, is it? And that combination that will very much have their eyes on the prize, and that's a World Cup qualifier later this week. Into the top 10 at the moment, though, 63.75, and a clear round there for Donald Whittaker and Millfield Colette. So the crowd's starting to build here in Helsinki, halfway through this world ranking competition. And firmly at the top of the leaderboard, Germany's Hans-Dieter Dreher and Vesmal de Coty. 56.91 is the time to beat. Then Angelica Augustin Zanatelli, Katharina Romberg, Alberto Zorzi, Nathan Budd, and Kevin Stote. But 20 have gone, 21 remain. Don't go too far, because still to come, world number 7, world number 2.
pysäytä ainuttakaan liikkujaa. Kun Suomi pysyy liikkeessä, kaikki kyllä järjestyy. Pohjola Vakuutus.
Welcome back. Halfway through this world ranking competition here in Helsinki. And at the moment, it's Hans-Dieter Dreyer that leads the way. Time of 56.91. And getting us back underway, it is Mans Tyson. Already seen one member of the Tyson family, that was Mel Tyson. Time for Mans now, with the 12-year-old stallion by Ambler Gambler. This is Hello. 7th in the Grand Prix, 4th in the World Cup of Oslo. Victorious in that 3-star EEF semi-final in Budapest. But I wouldn't have been expecting that. And I just wonder, yeah, the hand goes up there. Really is a surprise, that one, because they have been in such brilliant form. But again, maybe it is that tighter arena, maybe it's the atmosphere, the audience right upon the arena here in Helsinki. So all factors that could well come into the situation here this afternoon. So still Hans-Dieter Dreyer leading, Angelika Augustsson Zanatelli in second, Katharina Romberg in third, Alberto Zorzi, Nathan Badd and Kevin Snout in the top 6 for now. But it's Geir Gulliksen, Jimmy, as he's affectionately known, for Norway here with VDL Group Quattro. 18 years of age now, this gelding by Caprice Bois Margot, and it has been such a wonderful horse for Jimmy during their time together. Jimmy, though, showing no signs whatsoever of slowing down because he was second in that Welcome International competition earlier today. Little bit of miscommunication again there. Exactly the same corner as we saw for Mans Tyson. Recovered well there, so still on for a clear at the moment, but it's going to be very costly on the clock, isn't it? Going to have to just keep half an eye on the clock because I think he's going to exceed that time allowed of 71. He is. So although the fence is left standing, it's not a clear round because there's 4 time penalties there. 4 for Jimmy Gulliksen. 74-76, so 4 commenced seconds over that time allowed, paying the price on the clock. 4 for Norway's Jimmy Gulliksen, VDL Group Quattro. But this man is a man that really needs no introduction. He has been one of the men to beat at the top level of the sport for many a year now, and he is still very much there and firing on all cylinders. Currently world ranked number 12, but he's going to be moving back up, I'm sure, through the winter months. This is Switzerland's Martin Fuchs and Chaco Sini. 12-year-old gelding by Chaco Blue. Martin top 10 in the Olympic Games earlier this year. Winner of the Queen's Cup in Barcelona at the League of Nations final earlier this month. But, well, I don't think many people would have had this script. World Cup winner, 2022. Too early rails down though, too early mistakes for Martin Fuchs. That doesn't happen very often at all for this man. There goes another. So now 2 fences to go. It's just all about bringing the horse home, finishing the round on a positive if possible. And he does. 64.87, but a total of 12. And I don't think many people would have guessed that that would have happened for Switzerland's world number 12, Martin Fuchs and Cecosini. So heading swiftly on, Denmark once more, Caroline Rehov Pedersen. Just 23 years of age, she's ridden at Young Rider European Championships for Denmark. She rides Menconvio PS, 10-year-old stallion, by Messenger out of a Con Air mare. Top 10 placings in Oslo, finishing 10th in the Agria Trophy there earlier in the season for the Western European League. PS, of course, for those horses bred by Paul Schockemoeller, and there are so many of those competing on the circuit now. So far, so good. Not rushing at all, though, is she? But just 23 years of age. And those Young Rider European Championships, they are so important for these young riders. They do the best that they possibly can to recreate top 5-star level sport, but there's nothing quite like this, is there, here on the World Cup circuit for the Western European League. But it's a clear, and as she will be over the moon with that, 23 years of age, Caroline Rehov Pedersen and Menconvio PS, a clear round for them. Into 11th place there, 67.55. So, Ireland next to go. And Harry Allen here with Lukaku van der Bisschop, 13-year-old plot blue side gelding. Harry's brother Bertram, still in his 20s, but very much a household name in the world of show jumping now. And Harry, I'm sure, is very much following in Bertram's footsteps. Based in Europe with Bertram now, and to watch them, they ride very similar indeed. Very hard, in fact, to tell the two apart from a distance. Just a little bit deep into that double. Could see him there trying to hook for an extra stride, but ends up running in a little bit deep and tipping the first part of that double, the vertical in. Harry, a gold medalist at Youth European Championships. I'd say last winter time was his first full season on the World Cup circuit, but did very well indeed. And there's going to be more to come from that young man. for the 2024-2025 season, finishing on a score of 8, though, in 62.70. 8 for Harry Allen. Young man, 23 years of age, was second in that Global Champions Tour Grand Prix in Doha back in February. So still leading, Germany. Hans-Dieter Dreyer, 56.91, but it's Belgium once more, one of their young riders, Jordi van Massenhoven. Jordi's here with a 12-year-old Verdi side stallion, Verdiamo Z. Jordi, who placed in the World Cup qualifier of Oslo last year, was jumping there, jumping good rounds just a week or so ago. That Oxer has jumped actually quite nicely. Did wonder with those golden poles on top if it was going to catch a few more out, but at the moment hasn't done so. You could see there Verdiamo Z just maybe shying away from the corner of the arena, coming round to the double. So 4 at the moment for Jordi van Massenhoven. That's where he stays. Manages to just creep inside that time allowed of 71, 70.02. 4 for Jordi van Massenhoven and the Verdi side, Verdiamo Z. Seat still filling, heading into this evening's action. Of course, that Adamsbro Speed Championship a little later today. More 5-star action, but the crowd that we've got with us here in Helsinki will be right behind this next combination. For Finland, Pipsa Koski and I Primero. 11-year-old by El Primero. Gelding that Pipsa owns. Pipsa just 23 years of age, but back in May she was winning classes out in Drammen. And it was Finland, of course, that won the first of the international competitions here this week in front of a home crowd. But that double has, I would say, proved to be the bogey fence in this world ranking competition. Quite a few horses just spooking, shying away from the corner, and the riders not quite getting the line that they'd hoped for. Not really anything that stands out in that corner that you would expect the horses to move away from, but definitely something there. There goes another one. But what an occasion, 23 years of age and competing in a 5-star competition in front of a home crowd. Finishing on 16 though, Pipsa Koski and I Primero. 16 in 65.41. Who knows, some of those youngsters out in the crowd watching on may well be them competing here in just a few years' time. We'll have to wait and see, won't we? But many of these Finnish riders would have grown up watching this Helsinki International Horse Show. But it's Germany's young superstar now, Philipp Schulze-Topov and Carla NRW. Another by Camille Faux, this is an 11-year-old mare. Philipp, World Cup winner in Coruña back in 2021, really made a name for himself there. Last year came close in Lyon, finishing second in the World Cup qualifier. Good turn back over that Longines vertical. Does he get the turn? He does. Leave it standing. Yes. One to jump. 56.91. Time to beat. Surely he's got it. Has he? 55.58 he has indeed. And Germany now cement their place at the top of the leaderboard because Philipp Schulze top off leads, dropping Hans-Dieter Dreher down to second. But that was quite brilliant from the young German talent there. Philipp Schulze top off and Carla NRW. So 55.58, the new leading time. Another clear to add to the list. And on now to the next for Italy. This is Guido Grimaldi and Messi 7. 11-year-old gelding by Messenger out of a Chaco Blue mare. Another rider that in recent years we've seen likes the Royal Windsor Horse Show and on teams at Hickstead. See there how easily the horse just opened up the stride. Doesn't go quite as tight to the Longines vertical. Now has to steady up through that double. Just talking to the horse on the final stride, just asking the horse to wait, patient on takeoff, and it pays off there. 62.60 and clear for Guido Grimaldi. Clear it is, 62.60 into the top 10. It's into 8th place at the moment for the Italian. Still Germany, first and second. Sweden in third. 55.58 is the time to beat. So into the latter stages of the competition now. It might be towards the end, but they are by no means least because we've got some of the world's very best, and this man is number 73 on the world rankings at the moment. Brazil's Yuri Mansur and Claricada T, a 9-year-old Claramo side mare. Yuri, a career winner of the King George V Gold Cup. On the Brazilian team at the League of Nations final in Barcelona earlier this month. Road to a 5th place finish in the World Cup of Oslo. Nice to see this 9-year-old now stepping up for Yuri. Giving him his next generation of 5-star horses. Brilliant turn back there. Now keep on pushing. This is going to shake up the leaderboard if he leaves it standing, and he does. 57.54. What a brilliant try, and that goes into 4th. Clear for Yuri Mansur. Just listen. And there's the cheer once more. Finland go once more in this world ranking class. Aura Vasama and Canto Bruno. 13-year-old gelding by Canto Blanco. Aura Vasama, just 21 years of age, one of the youngest that we're going to see this week here in Helsinki. Finished in 11th place, the Young Rider European Championships earlier this year. Just out of the top 10 in that World Cup qualifier of Oslo earlier this season as well. May only be 21 years of age, but really starting to make a mark. At the moment, both of them looking very much within their comfort zone here. 1m50. It's going to go bigger for the World Cup qualifier. That'll be 1m60, 1m65, but this really is an impressive round for a 21-year-old. Long way off the last, but she clears it. 63.14. And she's got a smile on her face. Clear in a world ranking competition in front of a home crowd here at the Helsinki International Horse Show. Absolutely brilliant from Aura Vasama and Canto Bruno. So one of the world's top 10 now. World number 7, Austria's Max Kühne. And EIC coolly jumped the queue. 7th at the Olympic Games in Paris earlier this year. Having already picked up 1st in the Saint-Tropez Grand Prix, 2nd in the Monaco Grand Prix. Man that would really have a chance of taking the Global Champions Tour for 2024. As that heads on to its final leg in Riyadh next month. Master at work. Just got better and better and better throughout the year. This horse 11 years of age, but it's been one of Max's best for a couple of years now. By Pacino. Horse that was ridden by Ireland's Clem McMahon. And it's clear, 61.51, clear there for the world number 7. 61.51 goes into 9th place there for Austria's Max Kühne. And EIC coolly jump the queue. Again, a real showcase of the talent that is with us here this week in Helsinki. So Germany still 1st and 2nd, Sweden in 3rd, Brazil in 4th. Philipp Schulze top off, set a very good standard. 55.58 is the time to beat. And it's Norway now. This is Jenny Krogsæter. Jenny Krogsæter and Delphi MZ. Jenny, 23 years of age, member of the Norwegian team at the Young Rider European Championships 2 years ago. On home soil in Oslo, finished 12th in the Grand Prix after a 2nd place finish in the accumulator there. Some of these younger riders really haven't been fazed by the occasion. Some of these young riders really have shown no fear whatsoever. And Jenny Krogsater is one of those, 58.65 and clear, and that goes into 7th place. What a round for the Norwegian Delphi MZ. And with each clear that goes by, some of these young riders are going to get more and more confident, and who knows what could happen later this week come the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup of Helsinki. It will be anyone's game, but it could well be this man's, and no one would bet against him because he is the world number 2. The reigning European champion, the Olympic silver medalist. But back in London 2012, he won the gold medal outright. Switzerland's Steve Goddard and Easy Star de Talma. World Cup winner himself. Very quick from 1 to 2, you could see there. As soon as he got eyes on the second fence, he attacked it. Applied the pressure, put on the leg, and moved. Just maybe took an extra second there into that double, but it's a double that's caused so many problems, so had to make sure he got that right. Good turn back. How tight does he turn here? And then, does he get the turn back? You bet he does. Barely a stride, but he's clear with 1 to go. 55.58 to beat. World number 2. Is he going to be number 1 here in Helsinki? 55.61. Not quite. 300ths of a second the difference now, and that goes into a second. 55.61, and that slight check into the double, making all the difference there for Switzerland's world number 2, Steve Goddard, and Easy Star de Talma. A sigh of relief from the German. Philipp Schulze top off, still leading with Carla NRW. But here's Ireland once more. And this time it's Jeremy Sweetnam and the 9-year-old Corner Toblensky side gelding Soufflé. Owned by the Bachmann Sport Horse team. Jeremy winning world ranking classes in Belgium back in August. World ranking points up for grabs here this afternoon in Helsinki as well. All good so far for Jeremy Sweetnam. Inside there as well. Just ended up a little bit close to the vertical, so takes the top rail with him there, finishing on a score of 4. 4 faults in 58.69. Jeremy Sweetnam there and Soufflé. Well, let's have another look at the leaderboard. Still Philipp Schulze top off out in front. Steve Goddard in second. Hans Dieter Dreher in third. Fourth at the moment, Sweden's Angelica Augustsson Zanatelli. Fifth, Yuri Mansur. And in sixth, Katharina Romberg. There's 6 still to go as well, and any of them could go quicker than that leading time of 55.58. Could be this man. The Belgian, the world number 25, Peter de Vos. And Tupi de la Roque. 17-year-old mare by Canaan, out of a mare by Nabab Derev for the DeVos Stables team. Started the year with a bang, winning the World Cup qualifier in Basel. Went on to finish 4th in the Grand Prix of Al Shakab and 3rd in the Global Champions Tour Grand Prix in London back in August. Peter on the World Cup circuit, always there or thereabouts. Not the quickest that we've seen, but he still gambled with that inside turn back. Can't do really after the steady start to the run, but finishing on a clear in 60.30. Just goes out of the top 10 into 11th there for Belgium's Peter de Vos and Tupi de la Roque. So there's 5 left to go, 55-58 still leads the way. Germany, Italy, France, Great Britain, all still to come. And this, the final rider for Sweden. But what a rider he is. 23rd in the world, Peter Fredriksson and Al Capone de Camille. Of course, that was produced in Great Britain by fellow Swede, Angeli von Essen. Angeli based up in Cheshire with the Davenport team. Now, very much one of the top rides for Peter Fredriksson. 7th in the World Cup of Oslo. Member of the Swedish team that finished on the podium, taking 3rd place in that League of Nations final out in Barcelona. But this man has claimed medals at Olympic Games, twice finishing on the podium. A little bit of a stumble there, wasn't there? But thought he'd done enough actually to get himself together before that double, but just wanted to take a little check. Make sure the horse was okay. That, of course, at the forefront of Peter's mind. And this is a horse that Angeli von Essen was riding on the World Cup circuit last year, so it's still a new ride for Peter Fredriksson. It takes a good time to get a bond, an understanding between horse and rider. So finishing there on a total of 13. 79.38. 4 for jumping and 9 for time. 13 for Sweden's Peter Fredriksson and Al Capone de Camille. So now we go to Germany. Germany leading. Philip Schulze top off, but this is Mario Stevens and Starissa FRH. Remember seeing this horse on the World Cup circuit last year. It is very hot. It's a feisty horse, this one, but can go very quick against the clock. We saw that placing here in Helsinki last winter time. Then went on to finish top 10 in both the Grand Prix and the World Cup of Basel, the turn of the new year. Turns up tight there. I mean, even those combinations that have chosen to go right up beside the boards of the arena. Still only got 3 strides off that corner, but if you gamble and turn back tighter, only 2 strides maximum, as there is with this turn here, back to the vertical. And he jumps that well. Now, 1 to jump. Going to be there or thereabouts, isn't he? 56.21. It's a brilliant clear for Mario Stevens, and it goes into 3rd place, 56.21. So Germany now holding 3 of the top 4 placings in this world ranking competition. Philipp Schulze-Topov still leading, then Switzerland's Steve Goddard in 2nd. Into 3rd goes Mario Stevens, and Hans-Dieter Dreyer sits in 4th. 3 still to go. And it's Italy now. This is the man that jumped so well earlier today, clearing the welcome, the opening international competition of the week here in Helsinki on board the 11-year-old messenger side gelding Metun PS. It's Italy's Simone Coata. Big horse, isn't it, this one? Making Simone look very small indeed up there. Getting jumped out of the saddle on occasions. So much scope for this horse, and it's another bred by Paul Schokamola, another by Messenger. Must be giving Simone some feel over these fences. Those big wide oxers looking very easy indeed, but then just not quite with the adjustability to get that turn inside. But that's a horse that you could see jumping clear in the World Cup qualifier here over the weekend. Very nice round for Simone Coata. 65-45 and clear for the Italian. Excited to see that horse a little later this week here in Helsinki. So we've got 2 left to go. Both of them more than capable of catching the leader, Philipp Schulze-Topov. I would say this man would have to be one of the favourites because he was a double winner at the Horse of the Year show, taking their welcome stakes and the Grand Prix there just a couple of weekends ago now. This is France's Julien Anquetin, Flamby de Forêt, 9-year-old mare by Contendro. But Julien always rides with so much flair and energy, but not going to be winning here this afternoon with that early fence down. Julien always a pleasure to watch though, because of the way he flows, the way he attacks every single course. Never a man to settle for 2nd place, but not going to be winning this afternoon, unfortunately. Would have been great to see him in full flow, but just coming down to the last on a score of 4 then. Julien Anquetin, Flamby de Forêt, 60.83 on the clock. So Germany's Philipp Schulze-Topov still leading. 21 clear rounds so far. Over half the class jumping clear, and that is real testament to the talent that's with us here in Helsinki. But the last to go man that is just out of the world's top 100, but I'm sure he'll be back within it very soon indeed. Robert Whittaker for Great Britain and Chitondo now. He knows exactly what he has to do if he's to win this evening. Quicker than 55.58 and clear. Some incredible wins for him at Hickstead over the past few seasons. The King George V Gold Cup, big Grand Prix at the Royal International Horse Show back in 2023. And earlier this year, a member of the British team that won that Nations Cup on home soil, that back in July. Team that was made up of Robert, his father John, Ben Mayer, and Tim Gredley. Not the easiest of horses, this one. It's very strong. It's got its own opinions, but at the moment it's looking good. 55.58 to beat. Coming down to the last. Is he going to do it? No, because he's just run down into the bottom of that final oxer, and the time was good enough as well. 55.44, but it is sadly 4 at the last there. For Robert Whittaker, he came so close to winning it from final draw, didn't he, there with Chitondo? But it is a score of 4 for him. Will be disappointed, but I'm sure when he goes back and takes another look, he'll be quite pleased with that, because it's the finest of margins and you need a little bit of luck on occasions. Didn't quite have it there, but 4 for Robert Whittaker and Chitondo. And it means that it is Germany that win this, the world ranking class here, the second international competition of the Helsinki International Horse Show. Winning the ranking points and that winner's share of the €40,000 prize pot, around €13,000 going to the man in top spot, Philipp Schulze-Topov and Carla N.R.W. World number 2 finishes second here this afternoon, Steve Goodhat and Easy Star Datalma. Third, Germany once more, Mario Stevens and Starissa. Germany taking fourth as well, Hans-Dieter Dreher, Westmal de Coty. In fifth, it's Sweden's Angelica Augustin Zanatelli, lady that's won the World Cup qualifier here in Helsinki before now. She finishes in fifth with Kalinka van den Nachtigall. And sixth goes to Brazil's Yuri Mansur and Claricada T. Superb action, and it is far from over here on the Friday of the Helsinki International Horse Show, because a little later today, in around 40 minutes' time, we've got a wonderful competition, a real sight to behold. It is that Adams Bros Speed Championship here in Helsinki. So the prize giving for this world ranking class is on the way, and then more international action with the Adams Bros Speed Championship a little later this evening.
Our warmest congratulations to the winner and place riders. Parhaimmat onnittelut. Lap of honor, kunniakierros.
Suomen ja sä kelaat liikaa, ei ois pitänyt sanoa sitä, pitänyt tehdä tätä, se on noidan kehä. Vaikee päästä päähän kun ei tiedä koskaan, näet sä tän niin kuin me. Otan sit selvää, lähdetään jo menee, joten anna minun kantaa. Auttaa. Anna minun tulla sun vieresi ja aloittaa. Hullu se et ole, mut joskus sitä romahtaa. Kivi pohjaan, hiljaa nyt mennään, mut henkiin sä jäät. Hullu se et ole, mut juuri nyt on vaikeaa.
Kerro mikä sulla, kerro mulle avaudu kunnolla. Kerro mikä sulla, et sä vastaus löydä pullosta. Se on sun ego taki tai sun pelon taki, älä mieti noit, ne on vaan selostajia. Sä asut siellä pään sisällä, purka ne mulle, niin ehkä se helpottakin. Miten sulla menee muka kaikki ees, miten sulla menee muka kaikki ees.